years ago, I discovered a handwritten transcription by Eric Dolphy of the Prelude from Bach's Cello Suite No. 1. This really evidenced for me the connection between Dolphy's early classical training and his later iconic jazz performances and improvisations. Dolphy Fused brings together the music of J.S. Bach and Eric Dolphy. I've recorded Bach's famous Chaconne, originally for violin, and also I've paid homage to Dolphy by recording my interpretation of the transcription of his improvisation on God Bless the Child. In the centre of the album are two commissioned works, one by Miroslav Spasov and the other by Sohrab Uduman, who are both composers I've worked very closely with and who have been very much inspired by Eric Dolphy.
Johann and Eric merges various musical idioms, including some that are historically distant, a creative approach often referred to as musical borrowing and intertextuality.
In After It's in the Air Again, I took Eric Dolphy's approaches to the solos in Epistrophe and God Bless the Child as starting points, drawing out rhythmic, harmonic and motivic possibilities from the solo in Epistrophe, but subjecting them to the kind of creative fragmentation, reduction and re-elaboration that Dolphy does in God Bless the Child.
The composition weaves together disparate elements such as a motif from Bach's three-part invention in F minor, which was reharmonized, varied and immersed into an electroacoustic environment. Also, a phrase from Eric Dolphy's improvisation on John Coltrane's ballad Naima, presented through a double paraphrase technique that reshapes both the melody and harmony.
I've fused this approach with the kinds of forms found in some of Bach's music, where cutting between textures makes a structure by articulating patterns as well as responding to the poetic demands of an implied or latent text. In both Dolphy and Bach, creativity, attitude and spontaneity is driven by the poetical demands of the text or idea as well as the sound itself.
Fragments of Bach's and Dolphy's musical motifs interlace with the original sustained sonic architecture, evoking a morphing akin to the transformation observed in visual arts. The structure of the piece emerges through a dynamic interplay of superimposition and juxtaposition of motifs with distinct characteristics, often built upon large intervals, syncopations, and various sonic inflections that occasionally evoke onomatopoetic qualities.
In both Dolphy and Bach, the harmonic world coordinates, pins down the seeming irrationality of the gestural action as it transits through time. In my own work, I used processes and materials hinted at in these solos in a collision of rhythms, textures, and timbres.